Namaste. Happy holidays, everyone. We are talking about bone health, how yoga can help all of us. That's why we have Susan. Susan is joining me live from Canada. She is a yoga therapist, and her poses and her all the stuff that she's done on Instagram is absolutely beautiful. I have to say that. Thank you so much, Susan, for joining me.
My pleasure. My pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So let's just understand how yoga can help all of us with strengthening our bones and joints.
So when we're talking about bone health, we got to understand that there's like an interplay of many factors here. We're talking about right from the beginning of the release of hormones, right from hypothalamus to our pituitary, our thyroid, our parathyroid. They're all involved in the metabolism and restructuring of our bones. It's a constant process. Right? So we got to understand that it's these hormones that they operate under so many other, or rather they're dependent on so many other mechanisms, right? The food we eat, the way we sleep, the activity that we do. And apart from these hormones, of course, we have our vitamin D and everything related to the metabolism of vitamin D, as well as our calcium, which is being utilized absorbed from our gut and utilized for the purpose of restructuring our bone. Our bone is always in a process of losing and depositing. And finding that balance, or rather the body has this intrinsic mechanism, which we should greatly appreciate because it is so fine-tuned. It has this amazing ability to sustain the health and strength of our bone. So the idea of practicing yoga to promote bone health, we also have to incorporate the health of all the structures that are supporting our bones. You have your muscles, you have your tendons, ligaments, all the connective tissue. So you're talking about trying to address the musculoskeletal system in a very holistic level. And that would include not just postures, which Hatha Yoga offers in plenty, also your breathing practices, right? Because we want to kind of intervene in our autonomic nervous system, which is otherwise always in a state of, say, stress or tension. You know, we live in a fast world. We are not designed to slow down. Rather, through practice, we can slow down. And apart from asanas and your pranayama, the beauty of yoga or the yoga philosophy is that we see so many other guidelines that are present in all your yogic scriptures related to diet, related to what you can do in terms of your thoughts at a very fine level, trying to find that connection between mental health and the functioning of your musculoskeletal system.
Oh, that's amazing. So what happens, like in the sense, like are there particular type of sequences that we should do specifically for the bone health? That's what we're talking. So a lot of research yoga has for mental health, like we're all aware of that, meditation and all that, but the bone health, a lot of people don't understand. So do you want to elaborate a little bit on that part?
For sure, for sure. So a typical series of asanas, if we are aiming at bone health, of course, keeping in mind that each person should be only practicing according to their own capacity. Keeping that in mind, there are several postures that are specifically designed to create different pressures between your gut, between the abdominal cavity and between your thoracic cavity. And it's creating these pressure differences that are going to tap into active absorption of calcium and proper utilization of this calcium. It's not enough that we take calcium supplements. It's not enough that we add milk or dairy or calcium rich foods in our diet, but we have to be able to absorb it in order to use it. So we have forward bending postures, we have backward bending postures, we have twists, and we have lateral bends, which specifically target utilization and effective absorption from the gut. That would be one direct approach if you are specifically trying to improve the health of your musculoskeletal system. And apart from that, of course, you would want to make sure your breath is as calm and as regulated throughout your practice. It doesn't matter what physical activity you're doing. If you haven't mastered your breath, you're not going to get the full benefit of it. So we're not saying you got to be sitting for a long time to breathe. Rather, whatever you do it consciously. And in that sense, you will be able to identify the weak areas in your body. And for instance, if it's your wrists, then you can specifically target your wrists and use your breath to relax the muscles or tissues that support your wrist, and so on and so forth. So respective to your knee, your ankle, and we can work on a very intrinsic or simple level. I'm sorry, a very basic level. Yeah. To get down to the root cause of now whatever experiences that you're having. Maybe you're experiencing some sort of weakness, maybe you're experiencing pain, and keeping all those factors in mind, there are definitely a lot of postures that are available to us to explore. And again, another reminder is regular practice. The only benefits of yoga, as we've seen, come only through long-term regular practice. So it's important to be consistent. And so if you're going to bend forward, you also got to make sure you are bending backward in that appropriate sense, and find that balance between your asanas, between your breathing, and develop a routine that we can do on a regular basis.
Okay, so you talked a lot about breathing as well. The particular type of breathing, there's so many different type of breathing, right, in pranayama. So
Yes.
specifically for bone health, is there a particular type of breathing that we should focus on, like a deeper breathing or some kind of a kapalabhati, a fire breath, anything particular, or just simple, long breaths?
My recommendation for specifically endocrine or metabolic concerns here, for instance, in this case, the health of our bones, is anulom viloma pranayama. It's the alternate nostril breathing. There are different ways you can hold your hand when practicing anulom viloma pranayama. I choose the Nasika mudra, where you're folding in your index finger, your middle finger, and we're going to be using the thumb for the right nostril, and you use the other two fingers for the left nostril. And it's recommended that we start from our left, and you inhale through the left, you close the left, exhale through the right, and you inhale through the right, and close the right, exhale through the left. Now think of it as you trying to achieve a balance between your left and your right. And why is this very crucial in Hatha Yoga is because they draw parallels between the sympathetic chains of nerves that are running on either side of your spine, which is a direct influence on your autonomic nervous system. And we know that if your autonomic nervous system is experiencing a sense of regulation or balance, then everything else in terms of your metabolism, your hormonal levels, your mineral uptake, your digestion, and in turn, your bone health will improve. So to practice anulom viloma pranayama, of course, the reminders, again, we want to be on a relatively empty abdomen. You want to ideally practice this in a quiet, calm environment. And once again, you want to keep the breath flowing with ease. So at no point are you restricting or holding. Of course, there are additional higher practices where we do practice kumbhaka or breath retention. But for the sake of a daily practice intended for good health, you just have to worry about sitting as straight as you can. So that means if that means you want to use a wall for support, you're welcome to do that. You can sit on your chair. Just make sure the back is comfortably straight. Hold on to your Nasika mudra and keep the breath going for at least 5 to 10 rounds. And the more you practice, you would be able to go in for an easy 5 to 10 minutes and sit for even 15 and focus on your breath. So of course, apart from keeping the breath flowing, your prana flowing, you're also getting that meditation practice where you're experiencing a certain calmness, a sense of control within the mind. And we all know the effects of good mental health and how it can influence good physical health.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That makes sense. And alternate nostril breathing also is very useful for a lot of other chronic conditions as well, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. In addition to both. So do you have a couple of minutes that you could show us a little bit demo of whatever you like?
So just a few standing postures that you'd want to do on a regular basis. The idea is to get the spine moving in all possible directions. A yogi believes in so much good health residing only in the spine. They believe that a healthy spine is what's going to contribute to overall physical health. So you want to be able to practice your forward bends and little tricks and tips just to make sure you're not hurting yourself in the process, especially for those who have any back issues, especially related to the spine. You want to bend your knees slightly and keep the shoulders relaxed. There's not much tension in your upper body, and yet you're able to lower or hinge from your hips and keep relaxing your hamstrings in the process. So just this much, we worry about getting our head to our toes and reaching our feet, but at the end of the day, that's not what the ultimate goal here is. Right? The ultimate goal is to be able to experience these differences in your breath and the safe and the most comfortable manner possible. And in your forward fold, you would want to practice inhaling and allowing the belly to expand as much as it wants to. You're exhaling, you're drawing the belly in, and you'll continue to experience relaxation across your lower back, across the hamstrings, allowing you to bend forward. I always advise to lead with the chin rather than to lead with your forehead. So that gives you more extension or more length from your lower back. In the process, you can enjoy your forward bend. And you can feel free to just relax here and keep breathing for a good 4 to 5 breaths. And continue to allow the belly to move in the process. When you're coming back out, again, you want to come up very safely, slowly, and keep the knees slightly bent. So apart from your forward bend, you could also practice your lateral bend, where you are working with one side at a time. You want to keep the arm at the level of the ear as much as comfortable. And again, let's not worry about being flexible or bending too much. As soon as you experience that stretch here, your abdomen, your thorax is going to respond. Just hold on to that and keep breathing in and breathing out, and practice your Ardha Chandrasana here. You're inhaling here and exhaling here. Very slowly coming back out. You'll be doing that the same on the opposite side. Again, that's a very important principle we need to remember when we're practicing yoga, is that whatever you do on the right, you want to do on the left. Whatever you do on the front, you also want to do on the back. Very slowly, you'll be coming back out. So apart from your lateral bend, your forward bend, you should also incorporate a twist into your practice. So you can, very simple one is Kati Parivartanasana, where you're placing your hands on your waist. Your feet are well grounded and you're slowly turning back. Again, use your drishti or your gaze as a guide to identify how much you've twisted around your spine. And you're holding on to that position and allowing the breath to flow in and flow out, breathing in and breathing out. So we're familiar with the idea of yoga being at different paces. Some people like it fast, some people like it slow. But if your intention, once again, a reminder, is if it is a daily regular practice aiming at good health, you want to be able to practice slowly to get the most benefit out of it. In your poses, breathe 4 to 5 times, very slowly come back to the position, to your neutral position. The other practice you want to practice is a back bend. And that primarily involves engaging all the muscles attached to your spine. So simple one here, you're interlacing your fingers, you're inverting your palms, and you're slowly squeezing the shoulder blades, dropping the shoulders down. And that allows us to expand the chest. So here you'll notice in like most of your back bending postures, we end up using more of the thorax to breathe than the belly. So it doesn't matter which one is dominant. What's important is that you keep the breath slow and consistent.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us before the holidays. Bone health is so critical for all of us, and we should do it
Absolutely.
while we are, right? Rather than waiting until we are at a certain age. No.
Yeah. Having said that, I'd also like to add the importance of premenopausal and perimenopausal, because that's an age that we tend to see a lot of bone related issues at that time. Bone density tends to drop because estrogen is undergoing a lot of fluctuation. So apart from taking estrogen rich foods just to help naturally compensate for that balance, like you have your flax seeds and any oil based foods which are going to help you kind of relax those symptoms. Make sure to keep your body mobile, because at the end of the day, just muscle movement is what is going to help improve bone density. They have a direct relationship. So think of it as a whole system rather than isolating your bones out of your body. Every time you're thinking of pain, try and identify the connection between your blood work, so at a very integral level, right? So from the cells in your body to your tissues, to the organs, to the organ system, to the beautiful body that you have. So think of it on a very holistic level, and I'm sure you will be able to experience good health and amazing energy and vigor and strength.
Yes, and the other issue is that nowadays a lot of women who are in their late 30s are getting menopause, perimenopause, menopause, right? Which is very, very alarming statistics that's happening rather than in their 50s, which used to be generally the case. So incorporating all these practices like you were talking about, the yoga and also the proper diet, is very critical, more critical now than our parents and the grandparents used to have, right?
Yes, yes. We've drastically drifted from the natural from natural foods. We resort to processed foods. Unfortunately, we're all a victim of consumerism because it's convenient, and we understand that we live in a materially driven world. Yet, research and a lot of beautiful cases show us or remind us that it is still possible for us to tap into this natural ability of our body and to continue to experience movement as medicine. There's no need for us to resort to always resort to pharmaceutical measures. Rather, we are capable of harnessing that natural ability of our body to restore health. Yeah.
No, I think we know food as medicine, movement as medicine, right? These two things, and then if you combine the two, you're going to amplify and have a better, healthier life. Yeah, and that's what we're advocating. Thank you so much. Happy holidays. We're going to take a break next week. Thank you so much. It was an amazing session. And stay tuned. We are launching a lot of workshops in the new year. We're going to make these videos available also. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for your support. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Thank you. Bye-bye.